All right, good evening, everybody. First, I want to start off with a hypothetical question. Let's say you're a CEO of a big company, big multi-million-dollar company, and a catastrophic event happens. How would you handle it? How would you fix it? What would you do? Just think about that, because this is something that Exxon and their CEOs and everybody had to go through. So my name is Michael Walker, and I'm going to talk to you about the Exxon oil spill. The way this is going to go, first we're going to go over a little bit of overview, then I'm going to get into the aftermath, talk about how this affected their marketing, and then I'm going to tell you about everything that they did wrong and how I would have done things differently. And then I'm going to connect it back to the text. Now we're going to get into a little bit of overview. It was a massive oil spill that affected a huge area. We're not talking about just a lake or something like that. This is a huge area that I'm going to get into a little bit later. It happened in Prince William Sound, Alaska, on March 24th, 1989. A little bit of aftermath. The tanker that was holding the oil was carrying 1,264,155 barrels, and 257,000 barrels, or 11 million gallons, was what was spilled. And approximately 1,300 miles of shoreline was affected. So like I said, this is a huge area that was affected. It wasn't just like a lake or a pond. This is how their marketing was affected. Prior to the spill, their mission statement was to provide our shareholders with a superior return on investment. It was nothing else. They weren't worried about anything else except for their shareholders. They weren't worried about their customers, community, anything. And then 10 days later, they spent $1.8 million to post ads in newspapers apologizing for what they had done. But they still wouldn't take the blame. They would not take the blame for this incident, even though we all know it was their fault. And this long statement is just what their mission statement is as of right now. As you can see, it includes everybody. Shareholders, customers, communities, employees, everybody. All right, so this is all the things that they did wrong. First of all, they put the third mate in control. What I mean by that is they took the steer of the ship, decided to he wanted to take a break. So he gave the ship to the master. The master decided to pass the duties off to the third mate. Reports have shown that the master was apparently impaired by alcohol. Maybe this is what led him to put the ship in control of the third mate. And reports have also shown that instead of standing there and actually making sure the third mate knew what he was doing, he went straight to his quarters to sleep or something. Who knows? There was no one watching the third mate. Another thing, the ship just was not well equipped. The ship was a single-hulled ship, and it should have been a double-hulled. A single-hulled only has one layer, meaning if something impairs it, it makes a huge hole, the oil's just going to flow out, like what actually happened in this event. They should have had a double-hulled ship, which has two layers, where you have one layer protecting the oil and another layer that holds the oil. So if the ship is impaired and creates a hole, the oil is well kept and nothing flows out. The reason why they didn't do this was because the double-hulled ship was $300 million as compared to $200 million, which was what the single-hulled cost. Why they didn't bite the bullet? I don't know. Y'all tell me. They decided to wait until 2015 before they switched. Keep in mind, this event happened in 1989. They should have did this a lot sooner. This event wouldn't have happened. This is what I would have done. Bottom line, he shouldn't have gave the ship to the third mate. That's my opinion. He should not have done it, but he did it anyway. I would not have given it to the third mate, especially if I'm the master. If I'm the master, I'm not going to pass my duties off to another person. I'm going to make sure that those duties get handled out. Also, everything could have been avoided, like I said, if he did not give it up. He gave it up after the duties were already given to him. That's just not good. That's just not a good job on his part. He shouldn't have done it, like I said. And this is connected to the text by marketing environment. Our text says that it consists of actors and forces outside marketing that affect marketing management's ability to build and maintain successful relationships with target customers. Exxon was affected in a negative way because their stock prices dramatically dropped after this event happened. And in conclusion, others cases can be very complex. You have to really dig deep to get to the crux of what actually happened. Because if you don't, like for example, you probably would never found out that the master was drunk. You wouldn't have found that out. Is my work cited? Some more work cited? Thank you for your time. Have a nice evening.